One of the things that I saw as I watched your progress through Russia with Ashton Kutcher streaming through his iPhone at times was this interest in collaboration and discussion with the Russians following you, and also the interest in for them and being able to talk to one another. And as I'm sure you're aware, there's been significant wildfires there over the past several weeks now. And apparently, according to the folks at Ushahidi, now the largest example of crowdsourcing ever in that nation's history, and they've set up this Russian-fires.ru site. When you were there, what kinds of insights did you draw from how the Russian people think about this government 2.0 space versus other countries you visited?
You know, I think you probably know President Medvedev visited CIsco when he was touring the US, and we had a follow-up session. Russia is an opportunity, I think, to drive a lot of the technology innovation. I think the government's very committed to using technology to transform their nation and help drive citizen services through the government. And CIsco is working with them to look at what opportunities there may be. So I think as a follow-up to my visit, what I learned is that there is a keen interest in delivering, exactly the kind of things that we talked about, better healthcare opportunities, better citizen services from a government side, but also actually using collaboration to connect with other countries and use technology in a more interactive way. So I think there is a lot of opportunity there, and I think we are working with them in identifying and prioritizing those opportunities.
It sounded like John Donahue, I think I've got that right, the CEO of eBay, who was with you. I had some concerns about intellectual property protections. Are there any other barriers like that to going into Russia for you all?
I think there is always a concern around intellectual property, and I think if the right kind of frameworks are defined, we can overcome that. I think we are looking for not necessarily only co-developing solutions. Obviously, we'll do that where necessary, but actually, how can we use the technology that we have to help them as a country move up, right? I think we talked about the wildfires when China had, moving away from Russia for a minute here, when China had the earthquake in the Sichuan earthquake. Interestingly, CIsco was one of the first companies there to help them. And initially, it started off as a corporate social responsibility. We helped and we engaged with the government to help them recover. We actually used telepresence for some of the medical help that was necessary in that region. And what started off as a corporate social responsibility initiative is actually turning out to be an interesting business opportunity, commercial opportunity for us to extend telepresence into the healthcare vertical. So I think there'll be, sort of like byproducts of what we start off in one area that will span out, and I think the same thing will happen in Russia and other countries. So I think when we do it for the right reasons, then the intellectual property concerns will get minimized, as opposed to us just going there to sell a product or co-create a product.